Today on Commander Replay, we're back with some Thantis Spider Tribal. Find out what happens when Thantis climbs to the top of the water spout. Next on Commander Replay. Today's show is brought to you by Culture, a graffiti artist from New York who brings your favorite pop icons to life. You can check out his one-of-a-kind works on his Instagram page, and if you see something you like, be sure to follow him and drop a comment. But if you see something you gotta have, or are interested in getting some custom work done, feel free to contact him directly through Instagram and be sure to mention Commander Replay for a discount. A link will be in the description below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Thantis the Warweaver Spider Tribal today. Take a look at this opening hand. No mana ramp. Let's try mulliganing that one. We're missing a... Oh, that's even worse. Should have kept the first one. So this was actually supposed to be a Eula Bearfall, but the bots aren't working because of an update they just did to MTGO, so I cannot acquire the cards, so we are getting some Thantis Spider Tribal. Looks like we're mulliganing to 6. And we've got lands. That one's got ramp and a Bow of Nylea. Not much else, but I guess we'll keep we keeping a spider? Do we need... Yeah, just keep the spider. So we draw the spider, play a land, crack a land. Probably should have played the tap land first. Whoops. A little bit off my game now. That had to mulligan a bunch. Get something with some green in it. Let's go for the Overgrown Tomb. That one seems like it makes sense. And we'll pass like that. Elvish Mystic coming in for the Tolsimir opponent. That's going to bring it back to our turn 2. Oh, we draw Harmonize. But we don't have a second green, so we're just going to hope for that second green. Are we cycling the Canyon Slough? I think maybe we are. I think we need to find our way to a green or like a Cultivate or something like that. Seems risky, but I'm going to try it. Alright, well, we draw another land. It's not the green land that we're looking for, but hopefully we're one closer to that green land. Green land, get it? Farseek for the Surrak opponent. Metallic Mimic coming down for the Morophon opponent choosing Shapeshifter. I think we're going to have... Oh, yeah. So this is Chaotix deck. We saw this one the other day. It is a Samurai tribal deck, but it does feature a large number of changelings, because the number of playable Samurai is not very large. There's that green we were looking for. It's a Mosswart Bridge. We'll go ahead and play that Mosswart Bridge, so cycling that land seems like it has paid off. Oh, there's some stuff under there. There's a No Mercy, a Jungle Weaver. We probably have that one. Winds of Kalsisma. That's a Fog. I think Lurking Predators. Lurking Predators is a super crazy card. And, yeah, we'll pass like that. Next turn we're set up to Harmonize. Or Explosive Vegetation. Cool, cool. Things are looking up. Frog Tosser Banneret for the Morophon opponent. Goblin spells and rogue spells cost 1 less to cast. The Metallic Mimic going on the attack into the Tolsimir opponent. So by the way, we are playing Thantis the Warweaver out of Commander 18. An interesting card that I feel like has been largely overlooked as Farseek comes down for the Tolsimir. It's 3 in Jund for a 5/5 with Vigilance and Reach. It says, all creatures attack each combat if able. And then it says, whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, put a +1/+1 counter on Thantis. So it has this ability of really messing up decks that are just trying to sit back. If you're like me and you're turning your creature sideways every turn anyway, it's not as big of a deal. But if you're more that like blue style player and you're trying to sit back and combo off, it can really mess with you. So interesting little commander. It's a little pricey at 6 mana, but it is incredibly disruptive when it's on board. And with that, that'll bring it all back to our turn. Draw a Cinderglade. Right here, let's play the Strip Mine. I think Explosive Vegetation is going to be our best bet right here. This Aura Shards is kind of an issue. Really need to get rid of that before we play Bow of Nylea or our Lurking Predators. So let's get, what do we need? We have a bunch of black sources. We have a couple red sources. I think we just need more green, honestly. So get some green sources, and pass turn like that. Here comes Toothy Imaginary Friend for the Surrak opponent. I am joined by 3 Patreon supporters today. We have Dragon Knight 104 piloting Surrak Dragonclaw. I think there's a tribe there, but I'm not sure. We were talking about it before the game. This was supposed to be the Eula Bearfall deck, but the bots weren't working, so I'm not sure what they grabbed instead. We were all going to be on tribal. Chaotix went for the Morophon the Boundless deck that we saw the other day, and we talked about it a little bit. It is Samurai and largely a lot of Shapeshifters, and also probably a couple ways to cost reduce Morophon. And then finally we have Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves, probably Wolf Tribal, would make the most sense. Opponent said, how embarrassing that I'm not playing Bear Tribal. Sad face. Actually, that was a watcher. We have some Patreon supporters watching the game. Opponent going to send the Banneret into us. Yep, we're going to take the one right there. So Tolsimir coming into play. That's going to trigger the Aura Shards. Looks like Metallic Mimic is the only legal target. Sad face for the Metallic Mimic. And then the Wolf will come in and also trigger the Aura Shards. Yeah, that seems good in that deck. Looks like it's going to fight the Toothy. Voja will on the way in. To bring it back to our turn, there's an In Garrick's Wake. That'll be helpful at some point, I'm sure, but we don't need it just yet. Play the Cinderglade. I think I'm going to go Harmonize first, and then follow with the Woolly Spider, if we don't draw anything else useful. We draw a Cultivate. Cultivate's probably... Ooh, Arachnogenesis. Cultivate is probably a really good idea. This can destroy target equipment. Doesn't seem to be any of those yet. So, play the Cultivate. We'll get 1 green, and how's our red and our black? I don't actually know the spread in the deck. We'll get 1 more black. Seems to be some double black costs floating around. Put the Forest into play, and we'll pass turn like that. Here comes an Uvenwald Hydra. Opponent will get to search for a land. Let's see what they get. Opponent ended up getting a Temple of Mystery with the Uvenwald Hydra. More Tolsimir triggers. More Aura Shard triggers. Gonna fight the Banneret. More Wolves coming into play. In Garrick's Wake, looking better by the second. Opponent gonna do some attacking. Sending a little detachment into us. It's gonna get us for a cool 7. Down to 31, 3 commander damage. Ember Weaver. As long as you control a red permanent, it has +1/+0 and first strike. Meh. I think this turn's just going to be our commander. Let's play some Thantis. This will do a nice job at disrupting the board, though I hope this Ovenwald Hydra doesn't attack us. Choice here, we could leave up the Arachnogenesis. I don't think we need it just yet, so I'll play the Blood Crypt tapped and pass the turn like that. Here comes Pelucranos World Eater. Yup. Hydra Tribal? Maybe? Opponent can attack us with the Ovenwald Hydra. Yup. Nope, changes their mind, sends it over to the Wolf opponent. Did I finish introducing our opponents? Our final opponent, by the way, is GVR playing Tolsimir Friend to Wolves, assumingly on Wolf Tribal. Here comes a Chromatic Lantern for the Morophon. Yep. Likely is just going to be food for the Aura Shards. Ooh, that's a Shared Animosity. That's nice. Good in any tribal deck. So I was talking it over with opponents, and opponent does lay down a Beast Within on the Aura Shard, so we can actually start doing stuff. The question was between Anointed Procession and Aura Shards. I say... Invosia, I don't know. Anointed Procession is, like, decent, but I don't think it's as strong as it can be in some other decks. Aura Shards is just consistently good. No one will have artifacts or enchantments in play with Aura Shards sticking around, so... Creatures can be dealt with. Getting your own stuff blown up is significantly worse, I think. Ooh, that's a Master of the Wild Hunt. And a Parallel Lives. At least opponent's almost empty-handed. May need to think about in Garrick's Wake. It's a lot of things over there, and with Master of the Wild Hunt, they can kill a lot of stuff. This one's got Undying, so it'll come back. Most of the other stuff will get wiped out, though. So, opponent sends in a big old attack into Morophon. Yup. Brings it back to our turn. We draw into an Heirloom Blade. Interesting. Play the Swamp. We've got some choices here. Heirloom Blade is not the worst thing I've ever seen. So if we blow up the board, opponent likely recast their commander. Actually, their commander already died to something. Oh, died to Pelucranos or something? Died to something. I didn't see what. But they could recast their commander, and they could fight Thantis. That would kill Thantis. Not in love with that. Heirloom Blade on Thantis wouldn't do that much. We'd have to send it to the graveyard for that to matter. Arachnogenesis is interesting, but really want Lurking Predators, but we need more power. Heirloom Blade would get us to 8. Oh yeah, maybe we can't get Lurking Predators. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Lurking Yeah, I'm gonna go for Lurking Predators. Or I guess we could just play 2 spiders. Or we could play 1 spider with the Heirloom Blade. That'd be 5, 5. Yep, that's the 10 that we need. Okay, let's do that. So play this Ember Weaver. Heirloom Blade. I'll put the Heirloom Blade on the Thantis for now. Send this over to the Wolf opponent. They take 8 commander. Then we'll move the Heirloom Blade to the Ember Weaver. And then use the Mosswart Bridge. Play the Lurking Predators. Hope we hit good. Hope we hit some creatures. I think the creature count in this deck is, like, not amazing. It's fine. I think it's low 20s. For Lurking Predators, you probably want to be closer to 30 or even higher than that. Or have some way to look at the top of your library, which we do not. But if the Ember Weaver dies for any reason, that could potentially give us a shuffle, so that's pretty good. So opponent going to send the 8/8 at the Wolves and the 5/5 Pelucranos into the Morophon. Sure. That's a blasphemous act. Alright, Lurking Predators will trigger, but... Yep. Well, we hit with it, but our Hatchery Spider is just going to die now. Heirloom Blade triggers. We get a Grave Robber Spider. Of all the times that we want Lurking Predators to hit, into a board wipe was probably not it. Oh, we missed our Sunbird's Invocation. Oh, we can put it on the top or the bottom? What happens if we put it on top? I don't think it's supposed to let us do that. If it's a creature card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put that card onto the bottom of your... Oh, okay, it's a may. So we left it on top. Cool. Get the free spiders rolling. Although, I guess maybe that's not the best for lurking predators. Whatever. That's an austere command. Definitely going to be enchantments. So, yep, keep the Sunbird's Invocation on top. I think we're going to be needing that. Is he getting the artifacts too? Does not get the artifacts. That's good. The good news is that we did save our own board wipe. We'll have that for later in the game. Something like in Garrick's Wake, one-sided board wipes win games. I mean, it's actually pretty crazy that they printed Winds of Abandon. That is a very affordably costed one-sided board wipe. And in Garrick's Wake, Plague Wind, both fantastic as one-sided board wipes. And if the board is crowded, you have a bunch of stuff out, and your opponents all have a bunch of stuff out, it can just end the game because they no longer have blockers, and you can swing in really big. So I often do it with Austere Command and Hour of Revelation paired with the Boros Charm or Teferi's Protection. And that works amazingly well. Opponent regrowthed something. I didn't see what. Oh, probably Aura Shards. No, Master of the Wild Hunt. Okay. Master of the Wild Hunt is very nasty in that deck. There's our Sunbird's Invocation, so let's go ahead and play that. We will play the Woolly Spider. Sunbirds will trigger. Ooh, we get a Beast Within. Yeah, I think we Beast Within the Master of the Wild Hunt. Have a Beast. Heirloom Blade on the Woolly Spider in case it dies. And we got ourselves a 5/4 reach Woolly Spider. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spider Tribal. Pure Imaginative Rascal coming into play. So, Morophon coming into play. And the chosen type is Shapeshifter. Opponent's going to play a Bright Hearth Banneret. So maybe this isn't the Samurai deck. This might just be, like, creature types matter with Morophon. So, Tolsimir has a lot of nothing going on. They drew a land for turn. They should be able to recast their commander, though. Though there isn't a lot they can necessarily do with that. Opponent can attack into us with a 3/3. Yeah, they could pump with the Gavany. I'm just going to go ahead and take that. Just gonna take that. I like my Woolly Spider where it is. Super old school card. The very first packs of Magic I bought, a starter of Revised and a starter of Ice Age. So, Woolly Spider, a card I know well. And at the time, it was actually a very reasonably costed creature. Here comes Tolsimir. Yep, it's a coming back. Is he going to fight anything? Wolf comes in. Opponent gains some life. Going to shoot the Pier. Sure. Pier down. We draw an Archweaver Spider. That's going to be 7. Our commander would be 8. That's a lot. How much mana do we have? We have 10 mana currently. So I think we maybe go for this Archweaver and... Let's go for the Archweaver. See what happens. Oh, no, that's 7. That is in fact 7. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, we can still play the bow. That's what I'm thinking about doing. That'll trigger the Sunbird's Invocation. We got a bunch of spells of a Chroma's Memorial, Kindred Dominance, No Mercy, and a Sky Shroud Claim. So, probably not the Sky Shroud Claim. The other 3 are all pretty awesome. How many things are on board? There's a few things on board. A Chroma's Memorial is so good, though. I think we're going to Chroma's Memorial. Plus, we'll have the First Strike Trample Death Touch thing going on. Oh, yeah, and protection from 2 colors. So, this seems good. This seems really good. Yeah, let's get the bow into play. I feel a little bit exposed to, like, another Austere Command type of effect, but we'll just hope it doesn't come to that. And, ooh, we catch Mana Vault and some creatures. Let's get the creature. Creatures be good with the Chroma's Memorial. They've all got haste and flying. All right, who's getting it? Ooh, our opponents don't really have cards in hand. Dragon Knight's at 40. Think we're going to attack Chaotix. Not for any specific reason other than it's turn 9. It's getting a little late, so time to start looking to get people out of the game. So he goes down to 11. Here comes Surrak. Yep. Gilded Lotus for the Surrak. Things are looking good for the spiders so far. Opponents need a big top deck. Opponent just played a distribute 3+1/+1 counters. Surrak is a 12/12. Luckily, we have protection from it. And the problem right here is that, like, if we were playing a better deck, with these things on the board, the game would end very quickly, but because we are playing spiders, it's still going to take us probably a couple turns to really close things out. Arcane Adaptation coming in. Opponent says, remember that Aura Shards, guys? And someone else said, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yeah, I've gone pretty wild with the artifacts and enchantments. When you play a tribe like spiders, they do need a lot of help. You can't just, like, slam a Woolly Spider by itself and expect it to get there. Putting equipments on things, always a good idea if you're trying to pump up your team. A Chroma's Memorial, Coat of Arms, those type of things. Really good for pumping up what would otherwise be not very high-quality tribal creatures. Doubling season coming in for the Morophon opponent. I'm not really sure what the plan is there. Maybe it counters that, like, creature type matters with counters? Metallic Mimic. What's this guy do? Oh, that makes him cheaper. Banneret can reinforce things? I have no idea what Chaotix is up to this game. Ooh. At the beginning of our upkeep, put the top 2 cards of our library into the graveyard. Well, hope they're not anything good. It was a Jungle Weaver. That's fine. Crown of Doom. Yeah, it's fine. Although Crown of Doom does help with the power problem. We draw a land. Yeah, maybe not the thing that I wanted, but I think we play our commander right here. Our commander has a reasonable amount of power on it. Oh, no! Sunbird's Invocation doesn't trigger when we cast our commander. It has to be cast from our hand. I forgot all about that. That's a sad face. Well, yeah, let's go to attacks. Alright, we're taking down Chaotix. Send the other one into the wolf opponent. And we're going to leave up the Arachnogenesis just in case. Opponent said when your shapeshifters shapeshift into shape-shifting shapeshifters. So Chaotix goes down, other wolf opponent goes to 21, and Surrak chilling at 40. The good news is opponents are forced to attack, so that should stir things up a little bit. Signet coming down for the Surrak, that's not going to help them. Things looking good for the spiders. Just need to avoid the massive board wipes, especially for artifacts and enchantments. Well, opponent's forced to attack. Let's see where they want to send it. Yep, going to send it into us. That'll put a counter on Thantis. Tolsimir going to activate the Gavany Township. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. By next turn, their creatures are going to be pretty big. And we do not have protection from their colors. Block with everything on the Surrak. The Pro Red and First Strike should get us there as long as our Chroma's Memorial holds up. Which it should. And Surrak goes down. Very nice. Opponent says he flooded. Yeah, that's a problem for them. And that's really been the key so far. The key so far is that we've just generated a lot of card advantage. We drew with Harmonize. We use multiple land spells like Cultivate and Explosive Vegetation. That gets us a couple extra cards. We've now triggered Sunbird's Invocation a few times. And it's all that extra card advantage. We still have 4 cards in hand, compared to our opponent's 0 and 2. So that's kind of the big difference right there, is that we've spent a lot of time really trying to just keep the cards coming. And for me, also we did get a trigger with Heirloom Blade at 1.2. So, just lots of small advantages adding up to put us into this current position where we're really just ahead on cards, like compared to our opponents. So that's kind of the difference so far. Opponent coming in, let's see. Block their commander, block that thing, block that thing, block that thing. So Tolsimir goes down. Let's see if they recast. Could blow up our Nyx Weaver. Yep, Tolsimir coming back. Let's see if they fight the Nyx Weaver. Yep, gonna fight the Nyx Weaver, so we'll sacrifice it. And we'll get the Harmonize. I think just looking at a few extra cards seems good right here. That's kind of been our plan all game. It'll give us something nice to cast into the Sunbirds also. Thantis has quietly grown to a 9/9 with all the attack triggers. We draw Winds of Kalsisma, prevent all combat damage, essentially a fog. So not the one we need at this exact second. Let's go ahead and play the Harmonize. Sunbirds will trigger. We do catch a Kodama's Reach off the top, so we'll play the Kodama's Reach. Not opposed to getting some more lands going. We already play a land? Oh, Harmonize is still on the stack. We draw Door of Destinies. Door of Destinies will help us speed things up. Play the Door of Destinies. Sunbirds will trigger. Nothing in that pile. Choosing Spider. Badlands. Play the Grave Robber Spider. And this should help us close things out just a bit quicker with the Door of Destinies. Trigger Door of Destinies and Sunbird's Invocation. There's a Soul Ring and a Marchesa's Decree. You become the Monarch whenever a creature attacks you or a Planeswalker you control. Now let's go for the Soul Ring. By this point, opponents should be able to feel the slow venom of the spiders kicking in as they slowly die. Go to combat. Send these ones to the Tolsimir player, and we'll send the 3/5 over to Surrak. So GVR going down, and then we'll pass the turn. Dragon Knight's gonna need something big. They basically need to wipe the board and draw cards. That's a lot to ask. Not saying it can't be done, but it takes a few things. You'd probably want to start with the card draw card first, draw a few, get the board wipe, and then go from there. Gonna recast their commander. That's not the one they're looking for. And a Protean Hydra. Okay. I accidentally F6'd on our turn. Turn off auto heals. Attack with everything. We are forced to attack. We did draw a Decimate. Opponent goes down to 12. 10 commander damage. We'll just play a land and sit on our fogs. Don't think we need to do too much more than that. Does opponent have the board wipe? Red board wipes are shut off, by the way, because of the Akroma's Memorial, so there's something to think about as well. Opponent saying GG, nice. Opponent's falling to the spiders. Forced to attack with these two. We get some more counters on Thantis. We'll block Surrak, block this thing. Protean Hydra does something, whatever it happens to do. Gets a bunch of counters or something like that. Brings it back to our turn. There's a giant trapdoor spider. Might as well play it. Right, I forgot about all the triggers. Probably didn't need to play it, but you know, when you have Sunbirds, Door of Destiny, it's just good fun. Hull Breach. Now we're just adding insult to injury. Shoot this Gilded Lotus. Door of Destinies. Giant trapdoor spider. Go to combat. Send everything. Bam! Spider's taking it down! I totally didn't expect that kind of success with our deck in this outing. Turns out things like Sunbird's Invocation and Akroma's Memorial are very good cards, as is Door of Destinies. This is the deck we would have been playing, by the way. Here's the Bearfall deck. I'm sure we'll be seeing it soon if we haven't seen it already, depending on the release order of the videos. But looking at Thantis Spider Tribal, so as I talked about a little bit, the key here is just to like draw a lot of cards. No single spider in the deck is really super impactful, so you really need a lot of them to be able to take over the game. And because of that, I have a lot of cards in the deck that like help our spiders. So I have a lot of cards in the deck, and I designed it in a way that we have Ingarrick's Wake for a one-sided board wipe. We have Kindred Dominance for a one-sided board wipe. Technically, I mean, it's not super likely to happen, but Akroma's Memorial and Blasphemous Act could be a one-sided board wipe. So we have a couple ways to pull that off. We have a bunch of cards for helping our spiders because they don't have a lot of power and toughness. They don't have a lot of great abilities. So Coat of Arms, Vanquisher's Banner, Door of Destinies help us with the power. Akroma's Memorial helps us with the combat abilities. Vigor can make things absolutely huge, which is really good. And also, like I talked about, more card advantage stuff. Lurking Predators, Sunbird's Invocation. Surprisingly, I don't have Sylvan Library in the deck. I don't know how I missed that one. That's a very good one to have. Should add that one in as well. But even something like an Heirloom Blade that, you know, if the board gets wiped, you still get a creature back out of it. Plus the fact that it gives you power, so it does, you know, it's a couple of small advantages for not too much mana invested. And, you know, if you're playing a Spider Tribal deck, you're probably looking at a slower, more casual game anyway. So you can get away with things like an Heirloom Blade. Wild Pair is another sweet card. I don't know how good the pairs actually look in this deck. I haven't actually resolved a Wild Pair in this deck yet, but that's the general idea. Kindred Summons can be really sweet too if someone... there's a sweet combo that almost happened last time I played. If someone attacks you with like a big token army, you can play Arachnogenesis and get a bunch of spiders, block everything, prevent the damage, and then you can Kindred Summons, and once you get up around 20 or so, you can actually get every creature in the deck, which is a cute little trick, and it almost happened the last time I played this deck, but the game crashed, and I was so sad. So yeah, is this deck going to win every time it goes out? No, absolutely not. But the keys to it are one-sided board wipes, trying to draw a lot of cards, just keeping that advantage coming, and having ways to pump up your spiders and pump up the team is really where you want to be. Now, with all that said, there's only 21 creatures in the deck. Doesn't leave a lot of room for creatures, beside the fact that a lot of the spiders aren't super impactful anyway, so that's the trade-off there. I'm sure there will be games, if you play this enough times, where you'll kind of just draw dead, and you won't draw the things you need. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 2 new Patreon supporters in Jose Carrasco and Michael Murphy. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, or if you're just looking to get some high-quality games of MTGO, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.